Trump is openly talking about nationalizing elections. And if that doesn't make you pause for a second, well, it should. The United States runs elections through a decentralized system, meaning that states control voting. This is literally written into the Constitution. Article 1, Section 4 clearly gives states authority over how elections are run. The president has zero direct authority over how voting is actually ran. And so when we hear Trump's talk of wanting to nationalize elections, he's not just talking about a small policy tweak or about making elections more secure. He's talking about a power grab, one in which he's going directly against the Constitution. And to make things even more concerning, Trump isn't just talking big, his administration has already been pushing in that direction. You see, the Justice Department has already demanded complete voter rolls from multiple states, including extremely sensitive personal information like social security numbers and driver license data. Federal lawsuits have been filed trying to force states to hand over this information, and critics say that this looks like they're building a national voter database controlled by the federal government. Meanwhile, the FBI has seized ballots in Georgia and election records that are connected to Trump's fraud claims. Election officials from both parties are warning that this could wreck public trust and could open the door for federal interference into state elections. Meanwhile, Trump is trying to tie this whole election fraud to immigration, which adds even more fuel to the fire. He keeps claiming that undocumented immigrants are voting in massive numbers, but there's basically no evidence supporting this. Audit after audit, investigation after investigation has shown that the instances of non-citizen voting is extremely rare, and the cases that it does happen is not enough for possible election fraud. However, Trump continues to push this claim of fraud because he knows that it gives him more access into these election machines and the election process. And then we get to Georgia, where the FBI raided an election center in Fulton County, seizing truckloads of ballots from the 2020 election. This is the same state where Trump famously pressured officials to find enough votes to change the outcome. And if that wasn't wild enough, there are reports that Tulsi Gabbard, the director of the National Intelligence, helped arrange a phone call between Trump and FBI agents working that investigation. This means that the president was directly talking to investigators about a case tied to his own election loss, and that should be a massive conflict of interest. Any other president doing that will be facing nonstop outrage. But when you put all this together, you start seeing a clear pattern. First of all, Trump has talked about using military force to seize voting machines. Secondly, he's continued to spread misinformation and lies about the election. The third point would be him pardoning thousands of people on January 6th after they attacked the Capitol, including over 100 people that were neo-Nazis and committed violent crimes that day. And finally, now he's pushing the idea of nationalizing elections altogether.